Hi everyone, welcome to the Krylo Ren channel. It's Congru here, and today I'm going to talk about Finn. I'm just going to talk about Finn's progression over the trilogy and just how I think about it, really. It's going to be a quite short video, just a summarization of what I think of his progression from the three movies. I just want to read the databank entry on Finn, just the canon entry on him. So here we go. Finn, committed to the cause of the resistance. Finn fights alongside his closest friends in the struggle to defeat the First Order, the evil regime he once served as a stormtrooper. As FN-2187, he was trained from birth to serve the First Order, but a skirmish on Jakku awakened his conscience and drove him down a different path, one that proved both heroic and dangerous. So yeah, that's pretty cool sort of description on the databank for him. But I really think he was misused or underused, should I say, in the sequel trilogy. So basically, in The Force Awakens, you have him as definitely one of the main characters. You have hints that he may become a Jedi. You have hints that his relationships with Poe and Rey would be very strong in the future. I definitely got that. His interactions with Poe in The Force Awakens are really good. And to be honest, the relationship that he has with Rey in The Force Awakens probably is one of the most the relationship with the most chemistry in the Force Awakens, I would say. You could clearly see that they felt for each other, and Rey and Finn wanted to help each other, wanted to get through things together. That was clear. Finn, he does start off as a coward, right? So he's a stormtrooper, decides that he doesn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore, so he leaves the First Order. Obviously, Poe is captive, so they escape together. And then throughout the whole of The Force Awakens, Finn has this thing where he just always wants to run away. He just wants to get away. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to battle. He wants his life, really. He wants to have his own life. He doesn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. He doesn't want to fight, right? So he goes through the whole of The Force Awakens, and at the end he gets the big payoff where he decides, he picks up the lightsaber and he fights Kylo Ren. Obviously he loses. It's not the fact he loses the fight, it's the fact that he decides to fight in the first place. So that whole character progression, he's turned from this coward who always wants to run away to this hero. Overall in The Force Awakens, his character progression is actually pretty decent. And I was really excited going into The Last Jedi because I thought, yeah, we would see more of Finn, and there was a possibility that he would be training to be a Jedi at that point in The Last Jedi. But obviously, moving to The Last Jedi, it didn't actually happen like that. So this is a huge problem with the Star Wars sequel trilogy franchise. The Last Jedi, of course, is a massive problem, but the way it handled certain characters is definitely a problem, and Finn is one of them, okay? Finn was relegated. Let's just take it back, right? So, as I said, in The Force Awakens, Finn has this character progression. He goes from a coward to being this standing up for his friends. Let's say that. But then in The Last Jedi, what actually happens is he wakes up and he's looking to run away again. It's implied that fight with Kylo Ren has just basically scared him again, but it doesn't make sense in the context that The Force Awakens got that coward factor out of him. By the end of The Force Awakens, he was prepared to die for his friends, especially Rey. That sort of just went to hell in The Last Jedi. He wakes up, he wants to leave again, he tries to run away. Obviously, Rose catches him, and then obviously the Canto Bite storyline has been done to death, but Finn got seriously betrayed. Betrayed is the wrong word, but he got the bad stick, basically. He got the short stick when it comes to character story arcs, because obviously Poe was relegated, Rey was trying to save everyone, and then you have Finn who's trying to run away again. His story arc devolved back to the start of The Force Awakens, which is just really bad. I thought, being a coward again, trying to run away, Rose stops him, and then of course the whole Canto Bite story arc is then sort of explored. Finn is basically meaningless in The Last Jedi. All of his importance has been stripped away. He's got with sort of Rose Tico, another minority character, and I would like to talk about this as well. I really thought that Finn and Poe, not Poe, sorry. Well, I mean, Finn and Poe do seem to have a sort of a budding relationship anyway, but I really thought that Rey and Finn were going to get together at some point. I don't know if Disney thought, you know what, we don't want an interracial couple as the main sort of couple in this new trilogy. There's definitely something wrong there, because in The Force Awakens, her and Finn has such a strong relationship that, I definitely thought Rey and Finn could be together, get together for sure. And I was really happy with that because interracial relationships and I'm talking about not alien species or anything like that. I'm just talking about black, white, Chinese, whatever. They just don't happen that much in sci-fi flicks. And kudos, they put Finn with Rose Tico anyway, so they made that relationship, which is non-existent again, but they made it. But it's just like a relationship of minorities, and I mean, I don't mind so much, but it would just be nice for the black guy to get with the white girl in a Star Wars film. That would have been crazy to me. So they obviously gave him Rose Tico instead because Rian Johnson didn't want that relationship, or maybe Disney didn't want that relationship. I don't know, but I thought there was some clear progression to that relationship, the Rey and Finn relationship, that they just didn't progress because they split up the cast in The Last Jedi, had them doing their own things. Finn was probably the main casualty of that. He had a useless story arc, didn't go nowhere, but bailed basically. And then he got his fight with Phasma, which again, didn't have anything. And him and Phasma wasn't explored at all, and that's really sad to see. Finn could have been way more fleshed out in these first two movies. He could have had such a good storyline. He could have had a Force-sensitive storyline. He could have had a sort of return back to Stormtrooper storyline. He could have had so many directions that you could have gone. Maybe a love triangle between Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren could have happened or whatnot. More could have happened with this character. So we get to the final film, Rise of the Skywalker. If I'm really honest, Finn is relegated to screaming Rey's name most of the time. Like, that's all he does, really. He's in scenes just to scream Rey, Rey. Like that's basically all he does, and they basically imply that stormtroopers are all black when obviously Finn meets Jenna, and Jenna says, "Yeah, I used to be a stormtrooper," and Jenna's also black, and like those are the only people that are shown that are ex-stormtroopers. Obviously, apart from Jango Fett, who was the clone, but they don't use the clone troopers anymore. So, yeah, like it's really funny that the only other defective stormtrooper that you see is another black person, and of course, Finn comes across her and he's able to talk to her. The one thing that is sad is basically that JJ put is Finn is Force sensitive scenes in there, but they ultimately were cut. I think there's one scene that they left in Rise of the Skywalker where Finn talks about believing in the Force, but that's basically it. You don't see anything else. And I think there's times where Finn says, "Rey, I need to tell you something," and apparently he's trying to tell her that he feels the Force, he feels Force powers and stuff, but ultimately that's not explored, so can't really speak on that. And then the film ends and you don't see Finn at all. So I think Finn was a wasted character. Basically, there was so much directions that you could take him in specifically, and that still was using the likes of Rose Tico, using Rey, using Poe, even using Kylo Ren, who Kylo Ren was his commander at some point. So it's just like he has so many relationships. Phasma as well. He has so many relationships that established in the first two movies, or in the first one movie, should I say. The Force Awakens establishes a lot of Finn stuff, and then ultimately they just get tossed aside in The Last Jedi, and they can't be sort of brought back in a satisfying way in The Rise of Skywalker because The Last Jedi didn't really cover anything about Fizz. I mean, anything about Finn. So I've been playing too much League of Legends or something. So yeah, ultimately that's what I just wanted to talk about. Finn was a wasted character, so don't worry, white males, black males get bad sticks too. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I'm done for today. Thank you. This has been the Kylo Ren channel, and I have been Congru. Thanks guys, and goodbye.